Hi guys, so in this video we're going to be doing a update for the 0 to 1 million project. If you don't know, this is a project I started in February. The goal is to prove that anyone can become a millionaire by investing in the stock market a small amount every month. So maybe $1,000, $2,000, $3,000, maybe $500. If you keep going long enough, you can make a really good return. So this is a strategy I've back tested. It also uses some discretionary rules, but so it's part quant, part discretionary, and I'll talk about that in another video. So what happened in October? Well, the first thing that happened in October was that we got a small dip in the stock market at the beginning of October. So I used that as an opportunity to purchase 3 new investments. So the first was EWU. So this is the iShares UK ETF. And I bought that for about $30.15, which proved to be a really good entry point because it went up about 9% since then. So yeah, this is an ETF that I've had my eye on for a while, and there's 2 reasons why I bought this in October. First reason, obviously, we had that dip, and we've hit that $30 level, and that's been a really strong support level. Going back to 2012, it's hit that level several times. And the other thing is, when you do hit that $30 level, that equates to a dividend yield of about 4.87%. So I think I got about 4.87% or 4.8%, something like that. So that's a really nice dividend for a pretty strong ETF. So the second reason why I bought this one, obviously it's been a poor performer the last few years because of Brexit, but I do feel that Brexit's coming to an end, and a lot of that negativity is priced in. And I actually think, the UK is probably going to come out and do okay in the end. And also, you have to remember that a lot of these companies listed in this ETF are huge multinational companies, and they don't necessarily depend completely on the UK economy. So I did think this was a good buy at around $30, so I purchased that one, and that did prove to be a good entry point. But remember, I'm holding this for the long term, so at least 10 years. So the other thing I did in October was I topped up some positions in Amazon and Google. So these are existing positions I already own for the portfolio, for the project. And I did talk about Amazon, why I bought Amazon in a previous article. These are both, well-priced stocks. They're not cheap, but at the same time, they do have huge competitive advantages. So I am still bullish on them for the long term. One thing about Google that really caught my eye, I watched a video with Stanley Druckenmiller, a legendary investor, and he was talking about a study that came out recently that said the average American would pay $18,000 to use Google, use the Google search engine, which kind of blew my mind because the Google search engine is obviously free. And I was just thinking to myself, well, Google's got a lot of products and it charges next to nothing for most of them. So if it can raise prices on some of those products, then it's going to do even better than it is at the moment, and that's going to really drive revenue and earnings even further if it wants to do that. So yeah, I am bullish on Google, and I bought a few more shares in October. But there are risks. For me, this is one of the biggest risks at the moment. Elizabeth Warren, who's running to be president, she actually wants to break up Amazon, Google, and Facebook. So she wants to break up these companies because she thinks that there is too much influence from these companies. So that's one of the big risks that I'm looking at the moment, and that is one reason why I will be diversifying the portfolio in the coming months. So the performance update for October, this is what you want to see. So far, we started in February. We've been investing just over $1,000 each month, and we've made it to $11,804 for a total return of 10.23%. So that includes all of the Google. So that includes about 10 stocks at the moment. And so that's 10.23%, and that's beating the benchmark return, which would be investing in the SPY each month, and that return would be 5.98%. So as you can see, so far we're doing really well. Obviously we've got a long way to get to 1 million, but well, we're basically 1% into the journey, and yeah, we're doing pretty well. In fact, we're doing so well that I am expecting a decent pullback in the stock market indexes quite soon. So I may think about rebalancing some positions, but at the same time, this is a long-term portfolio, so I don't mind sitting through a little bit of short-term weakness. But yeah, that's the October performance update, 10.2%, really happy with that. I will see you in November for the next monthly update.